This is IGN. George Clooney and Adam Sandler star in director Noah Baumbach's film about a movie star and the price of fame. This is your IGN review of Netflix's Jay Kelly by Lex Perscuso. Jay Kelly will debut on Netflix on December 5th. The cacophony of noises on the set of a major motion picture is enough to drive any person crazy. There's yelling from all over, person after person after person trying to get someone's attention, equipment moving and shifting under your and everyone else's feet. But in director Noah Baumbach's latest feature, Jay Kelly, the title character couldn't be more at home in the chaos. It's what he, a generational superstar actor beloved for his work over the course of about 40 years, knows best. But what he finds as he approaches the twilight years of his storied career is that maybe he should have gotten to know other things better, namely his two daughters, who seem to be slipping through his fingers like grains of sand as they embark on their own lives. This is, of course, the heart of this entertaining and poignant examination of the life of great artists, and Baumbach's emotional resonance as a filmmaker and writer, a duty he shares this time with actress Emily Mortimer, allows him to explore it gently and graciously with nuance, frank comedy, and stark sentimentality in a way that feels truthful and human, despite the larger-than-life nature of the film's subject. Oh, and on that note, I should mention Kelly is played by none other than George Clooney. Clooney is the heart and soul of this film, not only because he's an excellent actor who's proven himself as such over the years, but because he innately understands what Jay Kelly is going through as a person. He's lived that life, the life of someone who knows a thing or two about the personal sacrifices necessary in the face of great art. Jay Kelly is ultimately an obvious stand-in for Clooney himself, but that's why the character and the film overall works. It's a necessary element of Baumbach's picture, especially considering the narrative is somewhat less personal to the director than many of his other works. Clooney's personal connection to the narrative acts as somewhat of a surrogate for the connection Baumbach, who also made Kicking and Screaming, The Squid and the Whale, and Marriage Story, always has to his stories, imbuing it with the same kind of life his other somewhat autobiographical projects have had in the past. It's key because without that kind of smart casting, this film probably would fall way more flat than it does. Kelly, as a product of Baumbach's direction and writing and Clooney's choices and instincts, is a beautiful disaster of a man, one who is noble in his trying and human in his errors. He is ultimately just like any of us who try and try and try. We're bound to make mistakes along the way. The supporting cast in general, namely Kelly's team, made up of Adam Sandler, who plays Ron, and Laura Dern as his publicist, as well as Greta Gerwig as Ron's wife, Grace Edwards and Riley Keough as Kelly's somewhat estranged daughters, and an exciting Billy Crudup as an old friend who resurfaces in a movie-stealing scene, brings the entire picture together in the same way an artist's team brings together all the challenging elements of their extravagant and hectic lives so they can just be who the world wants them to be. Dern is hilarious as she lays out some heartfelt truths worth examining about who your friends are in this business. Gerwig also adds a great bit of comedic relief to the project alongside Sandler's real-life daughters and the young actor who splits sides as Ron's son. On its face, this film could ultimately be seen as a critique on what living for your art can take away from you, but I think there's something smarter going on here. Jay Kelly feels more like a condemnation of the system we've set up for people who want to achieve greatness in art than a commentary on what you lose when you pursue a life in service of that goal. There's room for both a worthy, impressive career and a fulfilling life with family and friends in the worlds of those who reach the level of celebrity we see in stars like George Clooney. But we don't allow for that kind of, work-life balance in Hollywood, not for those who want to achieve the heights of true fame. I'd argue this film laments that notion and asserts that there has to be a better way, not only systematically, but in changing the public's mindset and perception of these stars. One of Kelly's quirks, and probably the quirk of most actors who are truly dedicated to their craft, is to ask for another take, to attempt another go at whatever line or scene he's playing because he knows he could maybe, if the gods allow, do it better. And at the end of this film, he revisits that notion for the umpteenth time, except it, of course, now means something wholly different. It's hard not to imagine how Jay Kelly would have ended if the life of a star meant a life of balance. And it's hard not to see Kelly begging with his eyes to do it all over with that gift in hand. Netflix's Jay Kelly's IGN score? 7 out of 10. Thanks for listening to IGN. My name is Tony Jackson, and for the latest updates on Netflix's Jay Kelly, visit us at IGN.com.
Spoken Layer.